Hello! I fancy doing a 24-hour reading vlog today, so that's what I'm doing. It's currently 5 to 11 on Saturday the 25th of January, and I'm going to officially start at 11 just because I like round figures. But anyway, I think this is probably a really bad idea because I slept really badly last night, so I'm actually really tired, but we're just gonna see how it goes. I really wasn't sure what I wanted to read for this 24-hour vlog, and I'm still not 100% sure, so I've sort of shopped my bookshelves as if it's a bookshop and picked a few titles to decide between or narrow it down. If you can hear noise in the background, the kittens are being very cute, and I will insert some clips for you maybe here. Last night I finished We Are Okay by Nina LaCour, and this is a young adult hard-hitting contemporary story about a girl named Marin who was raised by her grandfather, but her grandfather passes away and she doesn't deal with her grief very well. She runs away and shuts herself off from everybody else that she knows, and her friend comes to visit her and she has to start to deal with some of her feelings. It's only very short. I think it's 230 something pages, and it's really powerful. It was really sad. It made me cry. 234 pages, and I'd say sort of the last 50 pages was incredibly moving, and I really enjoyed it. I did actually read this in just over 24 hours, which isn't bad considering that I was working yesterday. So I kind of would like to finish a book today. I'd like to start and finish a book. Ideally today, at least within this 24-hour reading vlog, but ideally I'd like to finish one before I go to bed tonight. That would be my ideal situation, so that I could then start something else, maybe even start something else this evening and carry on reading it into tomorrow. I don't expect to finish 2 books in this 24-hour vlog. Maybe I will. I doubt that. I am still currently reading Dracula by Bram Stoker. I originally was reading and listening to this, but especially the first section of the book where we're actually at Count Dracula's house in Transylvania is very atmospheric, and so reading and listening was just a little bit too creepy for me because I am a massive wimp. So then I started trying to just read it, but I was really struggling with that because once you leave the Count's home, things really slow down for quite a long time in this book. So actually I decided, since I had the audiobook anyway, to go ahead and continue listening to the audiobook rather than reading the physical. I'm on page 346 of the book, so I have this chunk left. It's 445 pages, so I've got 100 pages of this left, but as I say, I'm listening to the audiobook, so I have 4 hours and 11 minutes of the audiobook left, but I do listen at 1.75 speed, which means that I have 2 hours and 23 minutes of listening time left, and I hope that I will be able to finish that today. I might bump the speed up a little bit since we're now nearing the end, and I tend to find that a faster pace is better once you start to get to the real crunch point of a book. So I might turn the speed up a little bit, but I do have a few things today that will work quite well with audiobook listening. I need to go to the shop to pick up some groceries so that I can make soup. I'm then going to make that soup. I would probably like to have a bath at some point, although I'm not sure I want to listen to Dracula while I'm having a nice relaxing bath. We'll see. And I also need to paint my nails because they're all a bit chipped. and things, so I would like to do all of those things, and all of those things that cater quite well to listening to audiobooks. So I will probably try to finish Dracula today, or at least within this 24-hour reading vlog anyway. So we then come to the books that I've pulled off my shelves to potentially try to read today, and I'm going to show you all of them and tell you a little bit about all of them in the hope that will help me decide which one I want to read. So these are all reasonably short books. Some of them are a little bit longer than others, and to be honest, they'll probably be lower down the priority list because, like I said, I really would like to try and finish a book today so that I can start another book within this vlog. But anyway, so we have Crown of Midnight by Sarah J Maas, which is book 2 in the Throne of Glass series, which actually looks quite short, but I've just checked and it is actually over 400 pages, so I probably won't be picking this one. 418 pages this one is, so possibly not, but this follows, well, the first book, Throne of Glass, follows Selena Sardothian, who is an imprisoned assassin who is released in order to take part in a competition to become the king's champion, I suppose, and personal assassin, really. And this book is the sequel, and I've had it on my shelf for ages and I would really like to read it, but I think today is probably not that day. Then we have Love and Gelato by Jenna Evans Welch, which is a summer romance story. It's young adult, I believe, so it won't be particularly graphic, but it's because it's contemporary, it should be fairly quick to read. It's 333 pages, so reasonably average length, but again, because it's contemporary, I do tend to read contemporaries a lot quicker than fantasy, for example, so this could be a good one. Then we have The Giver by Lois Lowry, which is dystopian, young adult dystopian, and it actually says 9+ on the back of this book. I don't know if that's meant to be an age range or not, but anyway, I think it's YA, and I've been wanting to read this one for a while. Same as with all of these, this one is fairly short. It won't be as quick a read as a contemporary, and it has 328 pages, so that's a pretty good option. Then we have The Thief by Megan Wallen Turner, which is a very, very short fantasy, which is incredibly unusual. I don't really see fantasies of this length sort of ever, so that's really interesting, and it's like all of the rest been on my TBR for quite some time. It is a series, and I think that there are 4 books in the series, but I could be wrong there. It's 280 pages, so like I said, really, really short for a fantasy, and it follows a thief who ends up in prison, and then the king hires them to try and steal something, and we follow that story. So that one's really, really tempting actually, because it's fantasy but very, very short. Then another contemporary, this is a new one, we have Love Boat Taipei by Abigail Hing Wen. This has beautiful blue sprayed edges, so let's just admire those for a moment. This is contemporary, YA or new adult, I suppose. If new adult were ever to have taken off, this would probably be within that age range, and it's a bit of a weird one. It follows a girl who gets sent to a boarding school, but it turns out that this boarding school is quite the party school, and they go on a love boat, so some sort of cruise where the idea is for people to get together, and she gets together with people, I guess. I don't know. Just sounds really interesting and different. This one's a little bit on the long side as well, but again, it's contemporary, so it shouldn't take too long to read for that reason, but it is a reasonably long one. It's 414 pages. So potentially I won't start with this one, but I might try and pick it up in this 24 hours. Maybe, I'm not sure, as we are sensing as a theme, I suspect. The next one we have, I probably honestly won't pick this one up, but We Set the Dark on Fire by Taylor K. Mejia is one that I've been wanting to read for ages. I picked this one up at Yalk last year, so this one has been on my shelf since July of 2019. Crown of Midnight has probably been on my shelves for the longest, unread, but this one's definitely a close second out of these picks, but it is 364 pages and it is fantasy. So again, this is potentially a contender to start in this 24 hours, but not as my read the whole thing today one. And then finally we have a book from Arcanum Unbounded. This is not one book, otherwise it would be a complete no for this, but I really want to read The Emperor's Soul, which is there, and it's a story that's set in the world where Elantris is set, and that's one of my favourite books by Sanderson. And The Emperor's Soul is a sort of novella, or just really short novel, but it's won awards. It's supposed to be really fantastic, and I've been wanting to read it since I read Elantris for the first time, and I just haven't got around to it, and I really don't know why. It's about 126 pages, so it is long-ish. It's not, you know, it's not a super short novella, but it is pretty short, and I would like, this is ambitious, but I would like to read this and another book in this 24 hours if I can. Like I say, that is a little ambitious potentially, but ideally I would finish a book today and then read The Emperor's Soul and then go to bed and then get up tomorrow and start something new. So yeah, that's what I would like to do. Again, I don't know if that's realistic. Yeah, don't know. Also, although this is a 24-hour reading vlog, I do fully intend to sleep during this vlog for a normal amount of time. I will probably go to bed somewhere around 11 PM and then get up somewhere around 9 AM. So that will be happening. I will be sleeping during this vlog. I'm not going to be staying up all night. That's just not a thing I can do. But I've been chatting for ages and I need to settle on a book. So what I might do is read the first page of The Thief, The Giver and Love and Gelato and see which one grabs my attention the most. So let's do that. Okay, that didn't really help that much because I'm interested in all of them as I was before. This is the one that I carried on reading the most, so I think I'm just going to carry on with this one. But honestly, I want to read all three of them, and I'm probably going to read all three of them straight away after this one. So I'm going to carry on with Love and Gelato by Jenna Evans Welch and check in with you later, I guess. So I actually found an audiobook for Love and Gelato through my library on the Libby app. So I'm reading and following along because it's only an 8-hour audiobook, and when I'm following along I listen at 2 times speed. So I will definitely finish this one today, and I might even have time to read one of the other 2 as well, which is exciting because I do really want to read a lot today. So I've quickly breezed through to chapter 5, which is page 53. I just need to get a bookmark for it. I think I'll use this tarot card since it's a romance book. The Lovers seems like an appropriate card to use for this one. I'm going to pop that in there now, and then I'm going to try and find myself a snack or something to eat because I'm getting a little bit peckish. So I'm going to get some food and then maybe watch some booktube while I eat something, and then I will go back to reading. Okay, so I actually ended up placing an Ocado Zoom order for my soup ingredients, so those have just arrived, so I'll show you those in a sec. But I am on chapter 11 now of Love and Gelato, so on page 133, so I'm making really great reading progress. I am enjoying it so far. It's very fun and easy, and I'll tell you more about it when I get further in / when I finish it, because I will be finishing it today as we've discussed. But I figured that I would show you my little groceries haul, I guess. So like I said, I ended up ordering from Ocado Zoom, basically because I'm lazy and couldn't be bothered to go out to the shops. So let's see what we have. So I have a cabbage. I hope this isn't boring. Some leeks, some chorizo, carrots, I've got some flatbreads, and a sliced tiger loaf, which looks amazing. Smells great. That's fresh bread, so perfect to eat with soup. Onions. And potatoes. And that's it. So those are all of my ingredients. I'm going to be making, I've never made this soup before, but it's the soup that I basically grew up eating because it's this Portuguese soup that my parents make. So I'm not going to show you me making it, but I guess I'll check in throughout the process. And while I'm cooking, I am going to be listening to Dracula. Okay, so my soup is ready to be pressure cooked. It's essentially just 3 chopped up potatoes, 1 chopped up onion, 1 chopped up leek, 3 small carrots and half a cabbage, and 2 of the mini chorizo sausages. So I'm now going to, and some water, salt and pepper, and I'm now going to put this on to pressure cook, and I guess I'll show you it when it's done. And here it is, all done. Soup cooked. I'm about to sit down and have some soup and some bread with a little YouTube and some Shinji company. Hey, so I've eaten my soup. It was very nice. It turned out really, really well. It smells just how when my dad makes it. It's a slightly different colour because I couldn't fit a whole cabbage in and I used an extra carrot, but taste-wise, it was great, and I've got loads of it, so it's going to do me for lunches at work for probably a fair amount of the week, I would say. And now I'm going to get back to reading. I haven't made much progress reading wise since I've been cooking, but I am now on chapter 13 of Love and Gelato on page 162, and I am really enjoying it. There's a little bit of a mysterious element to the story, and there are some really nice relationships being built. So I'm really enjoying myself and looking forward to seeing where this one is going to go. I've got about 2 and a bit hours of listening time on the audiobook left at the speed that I listen at. I did listen to some of Dracula whilst I was cooking as well. So I now have 3.5 hours of that one left. So I didn't make a huge amount of progress because I was concentrating on what I was doing and I had to keep pausing it so that I could run the tap or whatever and not miss stuff. But I'm still enjoying that one too, and I'm gonna get back to a bit more reading and we'll check in with you later. Hello! So this vlog is very much me sitting in the same place wearing the same stuff the whole time and reading books, but that's kind of the point of a 24-hour reading vlog, right? Or at least I hope so. Anyway, I have finished Love and Gelato by Jenna Evans Welch. It is currently 5:45 at night, so that was pretty good. I thought. I'm really pleased that I was able to read a whole book this afternoon, and I am going to start another one, but first let me tell you my thoughts about Love and Gelato, which follows a girl named Carolina, or Lena, who has lost her mum. So her mum dies of cancer in the very first chapter, or actually the prologue of the story, and so she goes to spend the summer in Florence in Italy to meet her father, and she reads a journal that her mother wrote whilst she was in Florence studying in her youth, and starts to learn more about her mother's life. And Lena also meets a boy, and it's just really cute and light and fun and easy to read, and I really enjoyed myself. I had a smile on my face while I was reading it. Is it deep and thought-provoking? No, not really, but that doesn't matter because it was just a really fun and enjoyable and sweet little read, and I'm really glad that I picked it up. It was definitely the right kind of feeling for this afternoon. So now I'm thinking of picking up The Thief by Megan Wallen Turner because I discovered that the audiobook is narrated by one of my favourite narrators, Steve West. He narrated the Strange the Dreamer duology and We Hunt the Flame by Hafsa Faisal as well, and I just think that he's a really talented narrator and I really enjoy his narration, and he narrates The Thief. In fact, I think he narrates the whole series, so I'm really pleased about that, and I'm definitely going to read and listen. That audiobook is also 8 hours, so that will be another 4-hour read, which means that hopefully I'll be able to finish that in this 24-hour reading vlog too, which would be really, really cool. I don't think I'm going to get to finish Dracula within these 24 hours, but I will still finish it this weekend, probably, just maybe not within the 24-hour reading vlog period. I also want to read The Giver by Lois Lowry because the audiobook for that is only 5 hours long, so 2.5 hours of listening and reading time. So maybe I'll read that one in this 24 hours too, and then I would have finished 3 books in 24 hours, which would be pretty awesome. So we'll see if I can manage that, but I'm thinking that for now I might listen to Dracula for a little while and do my nails because I don't want to let it get too late before I do them because they'll take a little while to dry. So I think that that's what I'm going to do now, and I guess I will show you them when they're done. This is what they look like right now. You can't really see the colour, it's pale pink, but they look fine. They're just a little bit chipped and need redoing, and I kind of enjoy doing my nails these days. So yeah, that's what I'm going to do, and I will check in a little bit later on. painted my nails. This is what they look like. Again, not sure that the colour is picking up too great, but it's like a sort of tan with a hint of mauve sort of colour. I'm not sure. It's an Essie polish. I really like Essie polishes. They seem to last pretty well on my nails and they're quite quick and easy to apply. So that is good because I am a little bit clumsy and it tends to be better if it doesn't take me too long to do it. So I've now painted my nails and I listened to a fair bit of Dracula, so I've got an hour and 55 minutes of the audiobook left and I have bumped the speed up to 2 times speed now, so I've got about an hour of listening time left. So again, I probably won't finish it today, but I will hopefully finish it within this reading vlog, and if not, definitely this weekend. And I've put dinner on for Lee and I. He should be home in about 15 minutes. Definitely nothing as healthy as my lunch of soup was, because I've literally just put some breaded chicken and some pre-made wedges in the oven. But I made soup today, so it's okay. And I'll be having soup for lunch every day for the foreseeable future. There's actually quite a lot of soup. I've filled 2 large Tupperwares with soup, so I may have gone a little OTT on the soup, but it's okay because I've ordered a thermos from Amazon which will arrive tomorrow through Prime delivery, and I will be able to heat the soup up in the mornings, put it in my thermos, take it to work and have it for lunch. So that's all. I'm now going to start The Thief by Megan Wallen Turner. I have probably about 20 minutes until dinner is ready, so I will read a little bit of this and I will check in with you probably after dinner. There's also a live stream that Brandon Sanderson is doing starting from 8 o'clock, which is in 30 minutes, but he usually goes on for about 3 hours. So in the interest of this 24-hour reading vlog, I'm not going to watch that live. I'm going to read instead, and I will watch it tomorrow after the end of the 24 hours so that I can make the most of this 24 hours of reading, even though I have already finished one book and am nearly finished with another book, and I'm about to start a third book. Speaking of which, I actually have some other books on the go at the moment. So I have a novella short story type book called The Proposal, which is book, I guess, 6.5 in the Mediator series, so between the ending of the main series and the updated novel that came out more recently. So I have that on the go, which I'm kind of just picking up in class between teaching. I have a reread of The High Lord on the go, which maybe I'll listen to that while I'm in the bath. And then I also started a physical reread of Poison Study, but I do find rereading physically quite difficult to commit to, just because if I'm going to be reading physically, I could be reading something new, but I do really want to carry on with this reread because I do really love the series and I've never read it in a physical sort of paperback book copy. I've only ever read it on Kindle, so I kind of want to experience it, if that makes sense. And I also realised today that a couple of books came in at the library that I didn't know had come in. So we've got The Test by Sylvain Novelle, so I'm going to read that at some point within the next 13 days because that's when it expires, and I've already borrowed and run out of time on this particular loan several times, so I do want to actually get to it. And then my next reread is actually going to be Aristotle and Dante Discover the Secrets of the Universe, because that has come in on Libby as well, and it's actually narrated by Lin-Manuel Miranda, so that's interesting. I didn't realise that. So those are my sort of onward reading plans in case you were interested, but for now I'm going to sit down, read this for like 15 minutes and then have dinner, and then maybe I'll sit and read this for a little bit while my dinner goes down, and then I'll have a bath, which I will use a bath bomb for. So I'll show you that. So it's now nearly 10 to 11 and I will probably go to bed fairly soon, but I've just had a bath and cleaned my teeth and washed my face and got into my sleepwear, and I am 76 pages in fact into The Thief, and I'm really enjoying it so far. I listened to a little bit of the High Lord whilst I was in the bath, but otherwise this has been my main read for this evening. Steve West is, as always, a fantastic narrator. As for the book, we start off following Jen, who is in prison. He's a thief and he's offered an opportunity. He will be freed from prison if he steals something on behalf of the king. And it appears that this is actually a trope that I quite enjoy, that I didn't even realise was a trope, because this is basically the opening of Poison Study, which starts off with Yelena, who's in prison awaiting execution, and she is offered an alternative. She can become the commander's food taster to ensure that he is not going to be poisoned. And I also really liked Throne of Glass, which follows Selena, who is in prison and awaiting execution, but she's offered an alternative to enter into a competition to become the king's champion. So I guess the trope is character starts off in prison, is offered freedom in exchange for doing something for the king or leader of some kind, and I like it. It works for me. So I'm going to carry on reading this. My battery light just started flashing, so I guess I will see you tomorrow and I will let you know how far I got. Good morning. It's now Sunday. Please excuse my crazy first thing in the morning hair. It is 9 AM. I'm about to have a cup of tea and watch a little bit of the Brandon Sanderson live stream before getting into some reading. Last night I made it to page 102 of The Thief, so I read about another 30 pages of that. Still really enjoying it. I'm like nearly halfway through now, so I'm really interested to see where it's going to go. It is very much written in a more short story kind of style in terms of the level of exposition that's happening in the story, and I'm actually really enjoying that. Sometimes it's nice to have a fantasy that isn't quite so dense in terms of the world building and is more character focused, and since I'm a character driven reader, that really is working for me. So I'm going to have my cup of tea, I'm going to watch some Brandon Sanderson, and then I'm going to read a little bit more, and I will check in with you a little bit later on. I do only have 2 hours left, so I am going to try and get as much reading done in that time as I can, but I don't think I'm going to get to finish this, but that's okay because I have actually read a lot in this 24 hours and I'm really happy with it. So it's actually much later now. It's about 4:15 and I didn't make that much progress before the end of the 24 hours of this readathon because I was really tired for some reason after breakfast and ended up napping. So I think I only got to about page 150 of this one before the end of the 24 hours, but I have actually now finished it, and I did want to wait to film this final clip until I'd finished the book because I thought it'd be more useful for you to hear my final thoughts rather than my thoughts halfway through the book or slightly further than halfway through the book, and I did really enjoy it. We follow Jen the whole way through the book. It is single perspective, and I felt connected to him pretty much straight away, but it did actually end up building a connection with a lot of the other characters throughout the course of the story as well. Like I said earlier, it's kind of written in a more short story format, so it's not as detailed as some fantasy books are, but I did think it was really well paced and the plot was really interesting. The character development and relationship building was really, really good, and I'm really interested to see where the rest of the series is going to go. The final book in the series is actually coming out this August, and that's called Return of the Thief, I believe, and it's been quite a long time in the coming because this was originally written in 1996, and so we're only just getting the final book towards the end of this year. So actually I've picked this up with pretty perfect timing because I've got time to get my way through the other 4 books that currently exist before the final one comes out. So that's really good. In terms of wrapping up my page count for this vlog, it is a little bit difficult because I did do some audiobook reading as well, but I read 333 pages in Love and Gelato, 150 pages in The Thief, so that's 483 pages, and then Dracula, I'm really not sure. I've got just under 2 hours of the audiobook left, so I think I read about 2 hours of that, and then I listened to a little bit of the High Lord in the bath last night. So I'm going to say that I read over 500 pages for sure, which is really, really great. I'm really, really happy with that. And since then I've finished The Thief as well, so my page count for this weekend is going to be amazing. I'm really happy with that, but for the purposes of the 24 hours, I know I definitely read about 483, and I will have read more than 17 pages of Dracula and the High Lord altogether. So I've definitely read over 500 pages in the 24 hours, which I am super pleased with, and I really enjoyed doing a 24-hour readathon, and I think that I will do one of these again because actually it motivated me to get quite a lot of reading done and to do a fair amount of other things as well. I painted my nails, I made soup from scratch, so yeah. Now I'm gonna go and edit this video and upload it for you, and so that's it for this one. Thank you so much for watching. If you liked this video and want to see more like this from me, then do think about hitting that subscribe button, and I hope to see you here again soon. Thanks! Bye!